Thank you very much to the leadership of the province present here and our NEC deployees, together with my colleagues who are here, comrades, as well as the men and women in the media. Firstly, I would like to thank the ANC for having given me yet another opportunity to serve our people at the local government sphere. I have worked in various capacities, but this one is a new and a challenging one, a challenge which I hope working with the leadership of my organization will be able to surmount. I also want to thank the people of Tshwane, who when I came to that city, they embraced me as their child. I've never, and I still do not feel foreign in Tshwane, even with the latest incidences, which I don't think reflect the feelings of the community of Tshwane. And I therefore don't feel in any way alienated. I feel part of that community. A community which I hope, working together with my organization, together with those communities, will be able to move it forward. What is interesting, I think, for me, is that I come in the city, or rather in a metro, where we've already had many successes, building on those who have gone before us, and my immediate colleague, Comrade Ramakhupa, who has really introduced a number of innovative things that have sought to move the city forward. If you look at some of the current projects which we are going to build on, relates to the transport infrastructure as well as transport services. Late last year, we saw the completion of the route of Arieng and the introduction of Arieng buses, which indeed, in building on those, we will continue to ensure that such bus services cover the whole area of Tshwane. We've also noted that through the merger of Motsweding into Tshwane, we need to improve our transport services, but also our road infrastructure in that area of Motsweding, which covers a number of communities, some of which are peri-urban. We also have noted that in terms of housing infrastructure, and I'm sure some of you might know the program Rea Tshwane, where we are saying we need to eradicate the informal settlement around our metro. That we will do in a combination of ways, and I'm sure some of you might have seen the current mayor, Comrade Sputla, in Mamelodi, introducing some innovation of how you can build while communities are not actually moved or relocated in other areas. Obviously, environmental assessment will have to be made in all of those areas to see where there are no wetlands, where you can improve. But one of the innovative areas to give certainty to communities is to ensure that you give sites, you formalize those informal settlements. And I want to say that that program is already ongoing. But we are also a city which has got a number of universities in the vicinity of the metro, where the challenge of student accommodation is a reality. And I know that Comrade Sputla and the comrades in the metro have already been reflecting on how best we can address that challenge. We are a city and a capital where you have got a number of diplomatic services, and we make sure that we look at how we can work together with those diplomatic offices and see how we can better improve. But for the young people of Tshwane, the Wi-Fi services, I know some of young people have been complaining that it doesn't extend to areas like in the east or in MAMS. We will make sure that by the end of 5 years, the reach of the Wi-Fi services to ensure that communities, and in particular young people, can actually access those services for their education system will be at hand. There are obviously other things that we'll have to continuously do to engage with the various stakeholders and address their needs. there are specific questions that have been asked. So I've just done a little bit of a scan of what we'll do in building on our proud past, and we are confident of our future that will make those things that we've set ourselves to succeed. You've raised the question, which in part has been answered by the leadership of the province. How does one ensure that in the governance we work with those comrades who are in the structures of the ANC? I think this is not foreign. I'm fortunate that I worked in the national executive. The ANC remains the center. So what one executes, it's what people would have voted for in the manifesto of the ANC. So the consultation between comrades in the regional executive and the province will be of a continuous basis, because there are those programs that ensure that we work together with the province and my immediate chairperson, who is the MEC of local government, should we win Tshwane, which I hope we will do, I'm very confident we will be able to work with him on those programs. There's another question that was raised which had not been answered by the leadership, which is very personal. How does one feel about the latent incidences? Surely, I must say that it is said that our communities, no matter at what level of disgruntlement, can engage in acts of violence and destruction. And I hope going forward, we'll be able to find a way, working with the leadership in our communities, to find strategies of how we could resolve conflict where such conflict may arise without necessarily destroying the very assets that will actually benefit our communities. How I feel? Wow. I'm not sure whether it's an issue of one's feeling. As I said, that I'm actually a resident of Tshwane. I don't feel foreign, and therefore there is no way that I can feel aggrieved. Obviously, in public office, when people have got some little issues, sometimes they will say things that are out of turn, but one of the functions of leadership is being able to rise above those. These are the communities that one will have to work with continuously, and together with them, we will make Tshwane a better metro for our province, but also for our country. Thank you very much.